Hey there, VC HHD students. My name is Andy. I'm a VC Health and Human Development teacher. This short video, we're looking at the VCAA 2025 HHD sample exam, question 8, suggested sample answers. This is relevant for Unit 3 and 4 HHD for the 2025 plus HHD study design. Before we dive into this video, just a couple of reminders about ways you can engage with the Health Resources Hub. If you're on our YouTube channel at the moment, you can subscribe with the button in the bottom corner of the video there, and that means you'll get alerts to all of our new videos as they come out across the year, particularly in the lead up to the HHD exam this year. We've also got our website, the hrh.net.au, where you can check out opportunities for HHD students and teachers. Got our Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook pages where you can follow us and get alerts to our new videos and other opportunities, and also our email, info@hrh.net.au, where you can get in touch. Before we dive into this video, just a reminder for Unit 3 and 4 students, if you're after some great course notes and practice questions for all the different areas of study for Unit 3 and 4, on our website, you'll see there's a student drop down where you can click, course notes, and it'll take you to this page where you can fill in the form and you can get access to our course notes. They cover all the key terminology and the key concepts across Unit 3 and 4 to make sure you're not missing anything as part of your exam preparation, and also practice questions, easy, medium, and hard practice questions for all the different areas of study, as well as sample answers. So if you're after those, please go and check them out on our website. Okay, so we're looking at question 8 here, which is another 6-mark question. So we've looked at a couple of 6-mark questions already in the sample exam. And I do think these are more common in more recent VCAA HHD exams. So definitely practice, a number of these 6-mark questions in the lead up to the exam this year. And so you'll see here the questions are asking you to analyze the impact of discrimination on the basis of sex on health status and human development in low-income countries compared to high-income countries. So there's a few things to break down in the question there. So the impact of discrimination on the basis of sex. So thinking about what you've learned in class, it's most likely you learn examples of how women are more likely to experience discrimination than men in low-income countries compared to high-income countries. And so you should think about some different examples that this was related to. So probably things like healthcare, education, employment, and thinking about how perhaps then you could draw on a couple of those examples and be able to link into health status or human development, and obviously be able to compare between low-income countries and high-income countries. So you've got to think about all those different sort of elements of the question when you're thinking about how to respond. So this one here, doesn't have, necessarily a rubric associated with the marking of it. And you'll see in the response there, they've broken it down into health status and human development. So I'd be thinking about this sort of essentially being broken into 2 3-mark responses. And so we'll have a look at some sample responses. Before we do that, just a reminder, there's one more opportunity this year if you'd like to come along to a HHD exam revision and preparation session. These are ones that I've been running for ACE, and so this will be going over Section A and B exam strategies and advice and covering all the key concepts across Unit 3 and 4. So it's on the 15th of October, running online, so you can join from anywhere in the state. So if you head to book.acevc.com, you can still sign up to that. You can also bundle a session together with the revision questions book that I've also worked on with ACE for the revised study design. You'll see a picture right there. It's got over 500 marks worth of practice questions to help you with your exam preparation. They've all got sample answers. There's also a full trial exam and a full chapter on extended response, so section B questions as well. So that's all available at book.acevc.com. Okay, so you can see here a couple of suggested sample answers. And so essentially, I think it's important also to look at the structure of these and think about whether or not that would work for you in answering a question like this. So in the health status section there, I've said that women in low-income countries may be more likely to experience discrimination from healthcare services than in high-income countries. So you'll see that comparison there between low and high-income countries in the first sentence, and giving that example of women being more likely to experience discrimination from healthcare services. I've then said this may contribute to reduced access to health professionals and treatment for women when pregnant and having pregnancy complications, and that could contribute to death and therefore increased rates of maternal mortality in low-income countries compared to high-income countries. So I've made a link from that discrimination, to essentially like a health condition, so pregnancy complications, and then linked that into a health status indicator. And I've mentioned how that health status indicator might be different then for low-income countries compared to high-income countries. Essentially then for human development, it's a very similar structure. So I've said girls in low-income countries may be more likely to experience discrimination from education services than in high-income countries. And that reduces the ability of these girls to enhance their capabilities at school, such as developing problem solving and rational rational thinking skills, and that could reduce levels of human development in low-income countries compared to high-income countries. So once again, given an example of discrimination, compared it between low and high, linked that in, okay, to something relevant that I can link into an aspect of human development, and then made it clear how that would differ between low-income and high-income countries. So there's obviously quite a few different ways, okay, you could answer this particular type of question, but that's just a suggested sample answer. And I've said that in the considerations to make sure that obviously you're referencing both low and high income countries in each part of your answer. And then the mark allocation is essentially based around what I was just talking about there. So a mark for mentioning both low and high income countries in the first part of the response and how that differs for an example of discrimination, and then an example of how that, okay, might link into that difference between low and high income countries, and then how that can link into a difference in health status or human development between low and high income countries. Okay, hopefully that found that useful. As a reminder, if you're after a copy of this revision questions book, you can head to book.acevc.com, or if you head to our website, thehh.net.au, you can get access to those course notes and practice questions. All right, thanks so much.